Well, hello everybody. Just gonna turn that a bit there. Doing the garage work here. I got my car back together. Tomorrow's windshield and some tire rotations. I spent vast sums just trying to get the tires off. Never seen it in my life. None of my family members have seen that either. It's pretty incredible. I'm calling this car Jolene, right off the song by Dolly Parton. Jolene, Jolene, this car's obscene. It's basically the Carrie, from the horror movie, the classic film Carrie, except for my car keeps deteriorating as I go, and she's cursed, all right, cursed on me, and in the pocketbook. I can't believe how much I've spent. I think of my truck, Midnight Martha, should have just put the money in her. I've way overspent now, but it's okay. I see everybody's logging on. I want to get on to the video because I know a lot will join us later. Everybody watching the news, I'm going to give you the lowdown as it really is, because you always get the CBC Democrat liberal propaganda, the warmongering Western propaganda. I'm just going to give it to you straight here, folks. So what Joe Biden has done today, Americans have almost doubled in the amount of people who've soured on this Ukrainian-Russian war. Americans in large swaths now are saying, listen, settle for peace. Enough. Joe Biden knows his time's limited on this war. Don't know why people fail to understand that the left, especially the left in narratives, always goes for war. They're also the greatest civil rights abusers in history. And people don't ever equate that, I guess. I guess history is for suckers. We don't learn from history. We just go with what's in front of us today. And piss me off, the CBC and others. Just doing a live. Okay, go ahead. Sorry guys, you gotta wait a sec. A little bit of traffic. We'll get into it in a sec. Sorry guys, I guess I should have told everybody I was doing this, but we're gonna get into it. Just let everybody... maybe I'll just keep going. So, big news, CBC and everybody, the left media, going off about Joe Biden and his now $1.5 billion commitment in military. Folks, do you know what that military is? The most advanced Trump America First anti-missile defense, meaning strategic missiles launched from American armed forces, meaning in the history of America, they've never given out their actual armed forces cutting edge technologies to any country and allow them to have it and run it. Never in American history. I don't even know if it's constitutional, but we watched Republicans in Minority House say, hey, it's just fine, don't worry, go ahead, donate to them. Give it to those people. It's theirs now. Zelensky did an impassioned speech as a Hollywood celebrity actor, a Ukrainian Bollywood actor, saying how they just need this and this will end the war. And folks, understand this. In 1 month's time, Americans have gone from 25% soured on the war to 47%. Canadians are too. The left governments, both Democrats and Liberals, are starting to worry as we've watched the Liberals go down the toilet. People are souring on Ukraine. We're not all stupid. Times are tough. Inflation's high. War never ever does anything but create inflation. And I understand the Ukrainian plight, but fighting for democracy against the Minsk agreements, which is a relatively great peace accord that kept Ukraine intact. All they had to do I know this is going to be scary and shocking, is give federalism. You know, American federalism, Russian federalism, Canadian federalism, you know, provincial powers to those obelisks. That's all they had to do. They said, fuck you. We're going to be fully autocratic, unitary. We're going to be unitary. Fuck those Russian-speaking people. Fuck those Eastern Orthodox. Sound familiar, Albertans and Saskatchewanians? First Peoples, sound familiar? You're not there, you're not written in. That's what the Minsk agreements were. That's all it was. It's all Ukraine had to do. And they said, no. So now they're getting the hell beat out of them. And they said, we need to fight a war. We need strategic missiles from your military that's for American defense, not to be in the hands of any foreign powers. America's never done it. Well, Joe Biden says, geez, Americans are souring. By February, if I continue at where we're going, dropping $100 billion, 50 and 49 billion is what he's spent so far. Now, as of today, he just shot over $100 billion. Per person per capita, it's nowhere near what Canada's spent, folks. Nowhere near. As sad as that is, nowhere near. And Canadians are souring, not as much as Americans, but it's growing astronomically as we're all suffering. The third class, the working class, the First Peoples, we're all suffering. And people don't want it anymore. We don't. Peace. Simple peace. You're going to lose some territory. Should have done the Minsk agreements. You didn't want to. Now you want us to pay for your war that you're losing. You're losing each and every day. And we're going to pay to continue to fight a country in an area that is not even any of our business. That's the sad truth. I know there's lots of Ukrainians in Canada. I'm from Alberta. My family has Ukrainians. We all know mass amounts of Ukrainians. It's not popular, what I'm saying. But folks, if you're Ukrainian, you're in Canada, you're in a federalism. What was the problem with implementing federalism? What was the problem with that? I don't see democratic powers and division of powers as a problem. I don't. I think that makes for a more democratic world. But hey, that's just me. Maybe I'm way out of left field here. Maybe the idea of America is a bad idea. Maybe the idea of Canada and its federalism is a bad idea. I don't like the crown, but federalism is a good thing. I think any country that's implemented it is doing very well in relation to every other country in the world. Every other country. That's a fact. But hey, what do I know? All I know is the treaties were signed, the Minsk agreements were made. They said, fuck you. Russia said, okay, pound, bomb, smash. And you know what, folks? Now USA is taking their strategic missiles from their armed forces. This is reserved for America at war or at defense of America. I hope people understand that. So when America subtracts and puts their stuff in a foreigner's hand to fight another power like Russia, who's as strong as USA, forget all the propaganda, because I can tell you, there are low altitude, computer run, highly sophisticated Mach 6 missiles Russia has not used yet. But since America is subtracting from their military arsenal for America, you know, America first. So if America got attacked, they have a percentage of weapons right there for America. They've given that percentage to Ukraine, a percentage of it. And now Russia says, well, now we can subtract ours and fire our advanced systems. And folks, if you haven't figured it out, it's a war game with Ukrainian lives, Russia versus USA. Hey, now Joe Biden's saying, hey, let's now fight with our most advanced weapons in Ukraine. Do you think it's going to provoke Russia? Of course. Do you think Russia's itching at the bit to fire those missiles and try out the American defense system? Of course. Who is going to get murdered, slaughtered, and destroyed? I'm going to remind everybody, last February, Vladimir Putin, clearly I still have the video, I can launch it. We will fight America and NATO to the last Ukrainian, if that's what you want. The actor fuckwad Vladimir or Zelensky, he's a piece of shit. If he really cared about his people, he would understand this. I clearly do. There's lots of military strategists who do. We've seen the history of Russia and USA all over the world. Afghanistan. I just sat in ESOC on Central Asia, Afghanistan, and the ill effects of all of those decades and decades and decades and decades of Russia and USA in Afghanistan. And the mess it's made where it is today. They talk about terrorism. Folks, don't get between USA and Russia. Don't ever use your country in a Russia versus USA scenario. Go look at world history, all of the Cold War, and then some. We can call it the silent Cold War. No good has ever come from any countries doing battle with the addition of USA or Russia. Either way, you go Russia, you invite USA. You go USA, you invite Russia. It is brutal. All the propaganda we know is clearly lies. If you ever watched Rambo, go in history of Rambo, and go look at Russia in the Middle East, Southeast Asia, Central Asia, Afghanistan. Then you can see USA. Neither of them ever won, cost trillions of dollars, bankrupted the Soviet Union, bankrupted nearly the United States of America. The people. Wars don't generate money. People try to say they do, they don't. People die, people get liquidated. First Peoples in Canada should understand this through genocide. Canadians should understand this as third-class subjects. This isn't good. It doesn't bode well for any Ukrainians, none whatsoever. We are going to watch increasingly more death and destruction in Ukraine. USA clearly don't care. Democrats, Russians don't care. Obviously, they know what they need to do. They know they need to win. Both sides, they have always done this. And they don't care about the little middleman, the Ukrainians in the middle. Mark my words, return to this video in the months to come. It is an official, real proxy war now today. Joe Biden is sending in his cutting-edge anti-missile defense system donated from the American people. For the first time in American history, Americans gave from their armed military forces something that belongs with their defense, not to be given out to foreign powers, let alone have them run it. Ukraine's going to get that. First country ever in world history. Joe Biden has done something that is against America First. And people who want to know what America First is, go look at 1920. America First. Passed in massive majority by Democrats and Republicans alike. Huge, massive majority. That's where it was created, not by Donald Trump, even though he jumped on the bandwagon, even though he increased military presence and power for America. Joe Biden's draining that. That means it's draining the military might of America. We just started officially today. We're watching America drain its armed forces for America. Not reserves, not stockpiles. We're talking cutting edge American military equipment is now being given to Zelensky to be used in Ukraine, a foreign power against Russia, who now says, well, if you're going to subtract that from the American military and we need to be equal to the American military, one for one, well, we're going to now go into our military might, our cutting-edge military might. look out for the new Mach 6 missiles. Low altitude, fly right under that defense system and start really wreaking havoc at massive speeds. Massive speeds. We're not even at the Mach 27 hypersonics yet. And God forbid we ever see that. But I don't know. What is Joe Biden going to do when he just pulled an Uzi? It was a handgun. Now it's an Uzi. Then Russia pulls a missile launcher. Then USA pulls a grenade launcher. Then they keep going and going and going. Meanwhile, it's all in relation to Ukraine. Who's going to suffer? Not Americans and not Russians. That's a fact. That's a fact. The people of Ukraine are going to suffer. We haven't even seen anything yet. Cutting edge, today's date, real military, today's firepower from America versus Russia's today firepower. Not all this old Cold War stuff that they've been passing back and forth. We've actually entered American armed forces versus Russia armed forces, today's equipment. This is literally the first day of the official proxy war. Vladimir Putin clearly articulates it. There's a video there. I just did a post before this video showing his live video, at least in pictorial. You can go look that up. You can listen to Vladimir or Putin live. He will spare no expense. He will not stop. Don't listen to the propaganda. Russia is at least the second most powerful military in the world, and depending, when you start doing missiles or nuclear, Russia takes the edge on the United States of America. These guys are going to start fighting with conventional today weapons, not old war, Cold War relics. They're going with cutting edge stuff now. Now they're going to play, hey, I want to try my system versus yours, at absolutely all the Ukrainians' expense. Learn your world history, learn the truth. Don't listen to propaganda media like CBC. They're going off on Vladimir Putin about LGBTQ now. People are clearly not even Russians speaking about Russia like they know. It's sick, it's deranged, it's perverted, it's leftist radicalism and propaganda. It's not going to turn the masses in favor of continued war effort and support. A simple solution, almost in now, and even split in the countries of Canada and America, is go back to the table on the Minsk agreements, give up territory so Vladimir Putin's happy. Sorry, you should have done the Minsk agreements. That was the easiest one. Nothing would have changed in your territories. Seems simple to me. I don't know. I don't think federalism's evil. I think that's just fine and dandy. I don't know what the problem was, but, you know, what do I know? I'm in a crown constitutional monarchy, a full-on autocracy, going into that kind of system right here in Alberta. We're going to see it